Hey everyone, AmzroSevca here, and welcome to a small overview of the Matrix platform. This is using the Element client, which I had originally joined 6 years ago, and so a lot of updates and changes have been done to it. The last time that I had hands-on with it was, I want to say, about a year to 2 years ago. So we're going to go on ahead and take a look at what features they might have added, what they, have changed, what's still the same. So they still have the start of the panel where you can make a group chat, you can explore, look for public rooms, and send direct messages. So we're going to go ahead and hit explore public rooms, see if they added new buttons. Up here you can of course look for a room where you're looking for, so if you want to look for gaming, or if you're looking for crafts or anything like that, you can look it up here. I do see quite a few new icons. I don't necessarily know if there's any new gaming communities. It looks like there are a few new ones that I haven't seen before. So perhaps that matrix is now growing in size since the time I have used it. So the explore rooms function still works. I don't know if there's a way to explore their brand new spaces, which is something that we'll be taking a look at. And that's for creating group chat, which if you click that, it will let you create a private room. So we can go on ahead and let's say it's called room test, and the topic will be testing the matrix. And you have your options between making it public or private, and private of course will be invite only. So it looks like they finally made better clarification with this option, more upfront. I know the last time I used it, there were some issues with creating private rooms. The documentation on it and the options available were not very clear, and I believe actually there was an instance where a community that was supposed to be private was actually created as public, and that led to issues down the road. Here we have you can block people from other home servers. So matrix.org is the main home server, and I believe it's still open for registration. There are other home servers. Granted, I don't know if they're necessarily checked in terms of quality, so I think you have to kind of make that judgment for yourself and figure out which home server is going to suit your needs. And here you can enable end-to-end encryption. Granted, if you turn this on, you cannot turn it off later for a room. So if you create it for a room and later on you decide you don't want it on, then you're just going to have to make a brand new room, and that's going to be that. And bridges and bots, as it says here, yeah, they're going to sometimes struggle to be working with that because of the end-to-end encryption. So let's go ahead and create our room. And we're actually going to turn off encryption because we don't need it. So we're going to create our room, and it'll load there for a little bit. So here you have the room info, this little icon here. You can click here, and you can see the members of the room, and who's administrators and moderators. You can also manage people from there. Show files. This will show if someone has sent any kind of media, whether it be pictures, videos, sound file, anything like that, documents. Export chat is a new feature that they have added, and I'm glad that they finally added this option, because being able to keep records of chats that you have with people, whether it be DMs or group chats, is a good way to have, everyone can have their own copies of what was said, just in case anything did happen in a chat or group. Or maybe if it was doing something for, like, if you're working with a team and you just want to remember what someone said, if someone put out an announcement and you want to have that on hand, and you can download that, and then if you're offline and you need to see what some people said, then you have that available. You also have your option to share the room. I got our QR code here, or you can share it directly to other platforms like Facebook and Reddit and things like that. And then there's also the shareable link you can copy by itself. You can also, there's an option to link to the most recent message, so you want people to be able to get all the way to the up-to-date part of the chat. No matter when they click it, then that's what it will do. The room settings, so we're actually going to, okay, I pressed X several times and then it didn't close out, so now it finally did close. The room settings, this is where you can manage the room. You can set the icon of the room, change the topic, room name, and you can also set up the address for the room. So you have, I believe, your local address, I think, and then your so this, okay, here we go. So your local address is like your room address, and then I believe the main address, you can make proxy, I think, links or whatever to your room. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I remember from the last time you could add multiple different addresses for a single room, and they would all call back to that room. And here's for URL previews within chat. So if people want to see embeds, I think for like YouTube videos and things like that. I'm not sure if they have full support yet for external media. I remember the last time that I used it, it was not quite there yet. But there were substantial workarounds. You could just go and I think like call in the thumbnail or something from file. Since I believe platforms like YouTube and stuff, they have most of their thumbnails in a WebP file. Security and privacy. This is for. Okay, here we go. So space members. This is new here. Anyone in the space can find and join. You can select multiple spaces. This is very nice. So this is one of the new space features, and I believe this is for connectivity of rooms within a space. And so rooms are like channels, like Discord channels, except they are a lot more autonomous, and you can have them either run them individually, or you can have them a part of a group. And rooms grouped together would form a community of sorts, just kind of like a Discord server or guild. I mean, they're originally called guilds. I don't know why they're called servers because they're not servers. And here you can select you can read the chat history. Roles and permissions. This is similar to Discord, but I would say more limited. I know that they have custom levels, so you can technically set stuff by hierarchy of I think number score. But I don't believe you can like write in your own rules like you can on Discord, like where it's like different statements for each role. And I don't think you can set custom colors just yet. So that's something they might be working on. I'm not entirely sure because again, I haven't been involved with the development of this platform for again like a year or two. So I'm not all up to date on what's going on and what features they have planned. A lot of things I remembered that they were working on were spaces, which I think is now fully integrated. Notifications. This is really cool. You can set custom sounds for your notifications from, I believe, like a WAV or a MP3 file. So that is really nice. So if you don't want to hear the default sound, which sounds like a clink, you can set whatever you want. You can even set the Discord notification sound if you really wanted. In advanced, this just gives you the ID of the room, what version it's running, and gives you the dev tools. If you open up the dev tools, you can get into, I believe, the JavaScript ends of things, and you can edit the room further. View servers in the room. Okay, that's not what I want, but that will allow you to do just that, view the servers in the room. And let's see, verification request and Explorer. Let me see, maybe it's under Settings Explorer that has, yeah, this is where you can go and you can really get into the nitty gritty of your room and how it functions. You can also set things like reaction events and stuff through the dev tools. So the dev tools is very, very nice and handy and allows you to get under the hood. So now that we've taken a look at the settings and all that, let's take a look quickly at the widgets and bridges and bots, and then we'll go and look at what you can do in chat. So the widgets and bots, I believe okay, so the bots are a little bit more limited in terms of how many you have to select from as opposed to the widgets, which are plentiful. Bridges, there are two default ones here. You can bridge to Discord, but it requires the use of a bot, which I don't know if this bot is listed here. No, it is not. So that is something you'd have to go out and insert for yourself. However, these bots are available to you by default, such as Wikipedia search and Giphy and things like that. Widgets, however, are very useful. And it doesn't look like they have added any more. You can also add your own custom widgets, but they do have YouTube and Spotify and Jitsi, which is the voice host server or like voice and video program of Matrix. So it allows you to do voice, video, and screen share. I'm not sure if this has gotten updated as of recent or not. Etherpad is like an online notepad. Actually, I'll show you if I open up a Etherpad. You can name them. So we'll name it tutorial notes. And you do that, then you should see Etherpad be added to our widgets list, which you can right here. And you can also set your room layout with like how the widgets are set up in configuration either in the sidebar or in the main window. You can then take that layout that's displaying for you and force it to set for everyone that way. That way not everyone has to go and reorganize where the widget is at. They simply will just go into the room and it will appear for them as it's appearing for you. So if we go ahead and click this, it will open up here in the sidebar, and you can move it to the main window, the main field, which is right here where all the chat has, and you can put it overhead, I believe. And so this is like an online notepad that you can edit with other people. So it's really handy, and it has various script styles and things like that. So if we go on ahead and say we wanted to show this out in the main field, I believe you'd unpin it from the sidebar. Or no, you would pin it. Okay, so it starts with unpin, then you would pin it to the main field here, and we can go on ahead and adjust that sidebar back to where it was before, and there you go. You can now see the document you'd be working on above right here, while also being able to chat down here. And I believe this would actually be pretty handy for working on code with other people. I see that they have numbered lines, as you can see right there. So I believe that you could maybe write code with people, or write documents together, work on projects and things together. So that's really nice and handy right there. That's stuff I believe forced into full screen mode. You got a star here. There's a couple of different things that you can utilize this for. I can also make bullet points. So widgets are very handy, and you can unpin. You can also set permissions. So we're going ahead. We're going to delete this widget because we don't need it anymore. But yeah, so that is at service for anyone who wants to use widgets with other people, whether it be YouTube or writing notes, and remove for everyone. There we go. That's how you delete a widget. So we covered widgets, bridges, and bots. So we're going to take a look at some of the chat functions. So first, we'll start with the room right here. You can right-click on a room, and you can either favorite the room, send to live priority, invite people, copy the room link, etc. So this is like a shortcut list with these two options being unique to it. And you can also, I think this mutes it. You can either mute it, or you can have only mentions and keywords turned on. Keywords, that is a separate setting in the main settings of Element, which we'll get to in a bit. But you can actually have specific keywords where if someone mentions a keyword that you have set for Element to look out for, it will alert you when that keyword is mentioned. So say you write in your keyword as being tree, and anytime someone says tree in chat, I believe it will then alert you. You can also set to them all messages, and then there's also default. I'm not really sure what default is as opposed to these two, but anyways, so those are the options there. And so now down in main chat, you have a couple different things you can actually do. You have slash commands in chat, so if you type slash, should bring up a list of different things you can pull off. And there's just a whole lot that you can do. You can either send like rainbow letters, which I believe is R rainbow. And so as you type in a command, it should narrow down the list. Yep. And so if you type in here, rainbow, and I was to say, let's say, hello world, how are you? It will give our text a rainbow skin. And if we wanted to say input a shrug emoji quickly, you can do slash shrug. So slash commands are extremely useful. They existed in Matrix before Discord, I believe. Discord eventually got them later on, and so you can now use them over there. I think you can also use slash commands in Discord to interact with bots. You can also use slash commands here and Element to take moderator action if you have those actions available to you as a staff member. You can change your nickname, which is different from changing your room nickname. So for every room that you're in, you can have a different nickname, and you can also change your universal nickname across the board from a room as well. Is that way you don't have to go into the settings and change it. So the room nickname, it will give you a unique name for just that room alone. It won't affect any other rooms that your name is in. Whereas, of course, the normal nickname, again, is universal. Discord added a feature like this, except it's locked behind a paywall. So this one thing that I want to make clear is that Matrix is all open source and it is community driven, whereas Discord is proprietary. So Discord will often lock their features behind a paywall, whereas with Matrix, all this stuff is available to you for free, and you can do whatever you like with it, and you don't have to worry about paying $90 a year or $100 or whatever in order just to get basic features. And so, that's really nice. Topic, you can also, change topic from the chat. You can set unique avatars for every single room. It is just really, really, really useful and really nice. Hold call and unhold call. I believe these are new. I've never seen these before. There's actually a couple of these that I've not seen before. Convert to room, I believe existed before, but I never used it. Space Invader. Sends a given message with the space scene in fact. Let's try this. Okay, let's say the aliens are arriving soon. with the smiley face. And it sends a bunch of Space Invaders on the screen. That's actually kind of funny. So that's one of their new like confetti effects. I believe they also have snow somewhere in here. Snowfall. Yep, they also have this. And it'll send snow on someone's screen. So you can do a lot of fun things in chat. Granted, I know that if too many people send those kinds of commands, it can actually start to overload your PC and actually stuff can get pretty slow because there's a lot of graphics being loaded on screen. So that is one thing to watch out for. Up here, you have your invite to room button, as we already went over what invites are. You can also expand and hide actions that have taken place in the room. So you can actually see all the changes that someone did. So if a moderator or an administrator is doing stuff that's kind of sus, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see what they're doing, because it shows their actions in the room. Granted, I believe you can actually turn those off in the setting if you don't want to be bothered seeing who's joined, who's left, who got kicked, who got banned, who got added, etc. I believe you can turn off those event messages. And then encryption is enabled. Okay, this is just a basic warning message. And you can also, I believe, this lets you edit the room from that button too in chat. So if we go up to the main settings, since we've covered, well, actually, before we do that, before we go to the main settings, let me show you. So this right here is just upload file. This is for an emoji picture, so you can pick all your emojis. They got plenty of I think these are running on the Twimoji, I think, library. So you have all your emojis that you normally find in Discord here. I don't know if custom emojis are here yet. I don't believe they are, but you got everything else at your disposal. And then you have stickers, which technically, this I think could be used as custom emojis. I remember the last time that I was messing with stickers, you could add your own stickers and have like custom reacts. I know some people would do it via local file, and some people would actually make their own custom sticker packs, and they would add them in to Matrix via, I believe, their own GitHub libraries. But it's a little bit hard, so I would not necessarily recommend it. I know that a lot of people just store their custom reactions locally and then just resize them to about the size of an emoji or a little bit larger, like the ones you see on Discord. These are all new, it looks like. So it looks like they added new sticker packs. Granted, you still cannot add your own natively, and I think that's because of security reasons. That's why they have not added that as an option yet. But again, you can just store whatever actions you want locally, and then you can just send them whenever you want. Let's see here. Okay, so that's stickers, and then this is for sending a voice message. So we can actually do this once you use your microphone. Yeah, let's do until I close the site. Let's do allow real quick. So if I hit voice. Hello, we are testing this, and let's hit stop. Let's do send. Let's see what our voice message sounds like. If I hit voice. Hello, we are testing this. So there you go. So voice messages work. Up here you have notifications for the room, so you can see all of the notifications for that single room in one list. You have a search function, so you can search a room for anything someone says. So if we want to search for room hi, then in my message that said hi in it should come up. I did not know why it's taking so long to load a simple search. But there you go. So there it says where I say hi. And you can also search all the rooms that you're in for a specific word. So that's really nice too. If you want to search all the rooms that you're in for a specific keyword, then that will bring you up all messages from all those rooms. This is for video calling, and this is for voice calling. I believe if you hit video call, oh yeah, you can't place a call with yourself, so it will not let me do a video or a voice call. But anyway, so let's go on ahead and by the way, yeah, these sidebars, these are collapsible, so if you want to get rid of it, you can. You can also drag the side panels like so, and if you want to see a longer room name, so you can kind of adjust the stuff to your liking. I usually like to have it kind of thin on the sides, but everyone likes to have a different length, depending on what they are looking to see. So let's go to the main options, and then the last thing we'll look at is spaces. So here is the quick access panel for settings. You can change from light theme to dark theme. I'm not sure if custom themes still are supported or not. I know that the last time that I was using Matrix, they were supported. Granted, they were stored locally, and every time you'd reset the platform, your theme would disappear. You'd have to reset it, which is not that big of a deal, since really wouldn't affect you negatively unless you were opening and closing matrix multiple times in a day, or small set of days. So if you're only like closing matrix maybe like once or like a few times a month when maybe you need to update the app or whatever, it's really not that big of a hassle. So you have all your settings here. You can access the notification and security and privacy settings right here, right off the bat. But we're gonna go to all settings, and feedback I believe will lead to their GitHub to give them feedback. But so this is your account settings. Actually, let me switch back to dark mode because a while that's really hard to see actually some stuff. So here is. This is your account address. So if people want to add you, they're going to type this in to find your account, and then they can add you as a friend, start a DM with you, yada yada. Then there is, that's an email address actually. Granted, if you send anything to that, actually I think that's a defunct email address. So if you send anything to that, nothing's going to go through. Let's see here. You can deactivate your account, etc. And you can add your phone numbers to your account, all that kind of stuff. The appearance for here is light and dark themes, but again, you can add your own custom themes. There are actually some dedicated themes I think created for Element that will make it look like different platforms like Discord and stuff. So if you're ever looking for themes like that, I believe you can go and download theme files and actually apply it straight to the platform. Here you can adjust your font size for reading from messages from the chat. So if 15 is too small, you can do 16, I believe 18. There we go. We're gonna leave that the default, and you have custom sizes here too. I don't know. Oh, you can go all the way up to 20 point, in fact. So you get really big if you have trouble seeing. You got 15. I think you get really small as well. I think you can go down to 13. 13 is the smallest you can get. But we'll set that back to 15. Let's see. So you can use a more compact, modern layout, which I don't know actually what that looks like. Enable experimental compact IRC layout. So let's look at what the modern layout looks like. Okay, so it'll look more like this. And then I think if you go down to appearance and turn on that IRC, I want to see what that's gonna look like. Oh, that actually is what happened when I turned on the IRC layout. Use compact modern layout C. So that's the compact modern layout, and if I turn off the compact modern layout, we're gonna see what it looks like. So I think compact modern layout just makes the messages a little closer together, and then IRC of course is gonna make it look like IRC. You can use custom fonts that I believe are stored on your computer. I've never used this personally just because I think that the font that's used by default on Element gets the job done well enough. But if you do want a different font, you can certainly go through and choose from a list of fonts you might have downloaded from a website. Notifications. This is, you can get really in-depth with notifications. And you can make, you can set for like custom events. So if you want only very specific things to, notify you, you can. You can also change the levels at which stuff will appear. So you have noisy on and off. Noisy is, I think, like every single one will come through. On, I think, is just like every other, I think. But I know that noise. I know for a fact that noise is like high alert. Like you will get everything with noisy on. So I'm not really sure what the difference between on and noisy is, because I see it for some stuff like when invited into a room, which is a single event. So I don't really know what noise would be versus on. I assume maybe another thing that could be is that if you have noisy on, maybe it will make the actual like notification noise when you get it instead of just appearing as a red number quietly, which maybe that's what it means when it's on and just not noisy. I have not tried this for myself, so it could be completely wrong. So if anyone knows better in the comments, you can correct me and let other people know. But anyways, yeah, so those are all the notification settings. Preferences. Let me see here. Room list shows shortcuts to recently reviewed rooms. Spaces show rooms at home, which is over here on the sidebar. Communities have been archived to make way for spaces. Okay, so you can convert. Okay, so they finally added the option to convert your communities into spaces. Great. Converting will ensure your conversations get the latest features. Display communities instead of spaces. Temporarily show communities instead of spaces for the session. Okay, so they allow people to get their communities converted. That's really nice, actually, and something that I was waiting on for the longest. They added new options for code blocks. and composing messages, so that's very nice. And timeline. So I believe down here, the timeline is where you can turn off all those event messages. And I think, yeah, so like, you can turn off join leave messages. You can also turn off read receipts if you don't care to see who has read what. You can turn off a placeholder for removed messages, or you can have it on. So if you turn it on, you can see who deleted what messages. And there's also a community filter planner, which I think got disabled since communities have been removed, so that option is no longer available. Granted, maybe it is available if you turn on, let me see here, hang on a second. If you can turn on communities, so display communities instead of spaces, we're gonna see if that will allow us to mess with that bottom option. So I think maybe then it will apply. So if we go to settings and we go to preferences, then this option does become available. So you can turn it off, turn it on, and turn it off. I had it turned off because I believe I stopped using communities all that time ago, so it was already disabled. And we're gonna go on ahead and we're gonna disable communities because I want to show you guys spaces, since communities is outdated and honestly it's pretty rough to deal with. So voice and video, this is just for setting up your devices. Right now it's connected to my LG monitor and I have my microphone connected. I have no camera set up or anything like that. And then security and privacy is where you would deal with your security keys and things. I'm not going to probably go to that panel because I don't want to have anything leaked from this account. Granted, I don't even know if I'm going to keep this account from later on. The versions that you're running, you can copy now. This was not a thing before, and I'm glad they now have it where it's easy to copy. That way, if you're giving feedback, you can, they ask what version you're running, you can just easily, quickly copy it instead of having to drag your mouse over it like that. And you can check for updates here, and you can submit debug logs if you find issues with the platform. And this is for tokens. This is more stuff in advance from servers and things like that. But I'll leave that for individual exploration because that's kind of unique to every different account. And they also added a frequently asked questions here, and they also added keyboard shortcuts things. That is something new that they did not have in previous versions, and I'm glad that they added, because every time you want to know keyboard shortcuts, you usually have to go online and find like a Reddit thread or a GitHub page where someone might have explained it, and it was a whole lot of hassle. So that is it for the settings, and then here's the spaces. So I'll show you guys spaces, and then we'll wrap this up. So you can click here to create a space. You have public spaces and you have private ones, and so again, I'm glad that they have these more clear dialogues. That way people know what they're getting into. I know that when creating communities, it was an absolute nightmare when setting them up initially. It was a lot of DIY. So here we can create a public or a private, so we'll go on ahead and make a private one. You can upload a picture for your space just like you could for room. We'll name the space test space description for a tutorial. And we'll go on ahead and hit create, and that will create our space. We'll let it generate here for us, and here we go. And so you can either say, this is just a space for me personally to organize all the rooms that I'm in, or you can make a space for you and your buddies to hang out in. And so we're going ahead and say just me, and I'll ask you what do you want to organize, and it will give you your full list of rooms. We only have one right now, so we'll add our single room to it, and now we have one room added to our space. And so this down here will display all of the rooms that you have in the space, and if you want to search for one of those rooms, you would simply just go into the search bar and you type in the name of the room that you're looking for. Test, we only have a single one, and it will bring it up in the results right here. And up here is where your icon of your space would be, the description of it, and the title of it. And that is pretty much all there is to spaces. There are some options for room management. You can suggest rooms and have them, I believe, show up near the top of your room list in that space. Yeah, this is pretty much what spaces are. So it's kind of like if you clicked on the Discord server and you were given an index of channels when you arrived on like a main page, and you can click on one of those rooms or channels and go into that room and see what everyone is doing. So you just go hit view, and you'll be put into that room that is a part of that space. So yeah, it is really nice, actually. Some of the stuff that they added. This was stuff that was people were expecting for a long time. You can also explore. You can explore the space that you're in by clicking this icon. You can filter out your spaces. It's a search, and I believe that this is to expand the spaces panel. That way you can see the names of different spaces. And I believe if you hover over, it'll also give you the names. But if you wanted to expand it for whatever reason, so you can see the names of your spaces, then that is also an option given to people. So yeah, I would have to say that they definitely have been hard at work over, the community has been hard at work with Matrix in the Element client. Well, the Element client more specifically. Matrix is just a home server. And yeah, so this was really a treat to see, and I hope that you guys were able to get kind of a feel for what Matrix and more importantly the Element client is like. And so if you're looking for an alternative to Discord or Slack or anything like that, you have this at your fingertips to explore and create with, and to get together with your friends, or to connect with your communities, whatever it may be, whatever purpose you may have. So anyways, so that'll be all for this overview and tutorial, and I will see you guys in the next video.